because equipment failure on my part. That said, here we go. Your animal's lack of hormones. And what do I mean by lack of hormones? What do we do to our animals? What's one of the first things the veterinarian recommends in your puppy or your horse, especially if he's a gelding? He's not a gelding to start with, he's a stallion. He's dangerous. You should take those testicles off. You know, the most dangerous male horses are the ones that have poor training. The most dangerous male horses are not necessarily stallions. They're horses that are treated like puppy dogs, that don't get positive reinforcement from the humans who are in charge of them. And when they get appropriate training early, so that it's imprinted in their brains that you're not the leader of this group, it doesn't mean you have to punish them. It doesn't mean you have to abuse them. It just means that someone has to be there who can stand up tall and be in charge. And it's the hormones inside the trainer that determine how the hormones inside the animal will be behaving in the environment. And that said, let me bring it back to what I really started out talking about, and that is that animals with fewer normal sex hormones, whether it be a gelding or a female dog that's spayed, have a tendency, and we're doing a pilot study with a nutraceutical company, not pharmaceutical, Standard Process. I don't think they've released anything yet, but I wanted to mention it because I think we see it also in humans. So in animals who have lower than normal sex hormones, they attract more parasites. And it's becoming more obvious every day through different studies that many of those parasites are what are causing the cancers that we're seeing in animals and humans. I say that because it's not been proven yet. I mean, there's no double-blind placebo study, blah, blah, blah. But this pilot study that we are doing here at the A.C.E.S Ranch is showing us that when we offer these animals replacement hormone therapy, the number of parasites, ectoparasites, I don't mean internal parasites, I mean, and it's probably true for internal parasites as well, their ectoparasites go down. We see fewer ticks on our horses. We see fewer fleas on our dogs. We see, less skin allergies on these animals. And let's think back about humans. All right, so for those humans, who are the humans that have a tendency to have less than normal sex hormones? Menopausal women. Menopausal women will have more issues like eczema, rosacea, skin issues that can be caused by parasites. And when they're treated with replacement hormones, those issues go away. Because it's those normal sex hormones that allow for that animal to communicate appropriately with those parasites that should have a symbiotic relationship with them. And when they don't have a symbiotic relationship, the parasites take over because the balance is off. So if you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor and you want to understand a little more about how this works in your animal patients, those are the patients who probably need to be adjusted on a more regular basis. Those are the animals. What we're seeing is when we offer food-based replacement replacement hormones in our animals, the parasite level goes down, like dramatically, without any other medication, any other added treatments. And we continue to do that because we're kind of like in the process. And they're in dogs, we're seeing more and more veterinarians recommending ovary-sparing spays. So what they are in those spays, they take the uterus so the dog can't get pregnant, but they leave the ovaries so that they continue to have a more normal hormone level. That's not to say that the uterus doesn't produce some estrogens and some progesterones as well of its own, but we've reduced the opportunity for them to get pregnant by accident and end up with more feral dogs that cause havoc in their communities, that don't have homes, that don't get fed, don't get well cared for. So a lot of animals in the wild, the feral dogs, have pretty poor diets. They have pretty trashy diets. A lot of them are eating literally trash. And so those trashy diets are depleting their hormone levels, just like they do in humans. When we eat crappy diets, our hormone levels are sunk because our thyroid stops working. It's blocked by phytoestrogens from the diet, and we end up with kinds of ailments and injuries. Obesity is one of them. Diabetes is another. And in those feral dogs, I know you see the skinny, scrawny, underfed dog that is losing hair and looks terrible. And those animals, it's because of their diet. So we're walking through this process with standard process so that we can look at these animals and see if there's a benefit to adding back a food-based hormone treatment. If you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor and you would like to be able to have a profitable animal chiropractic practice one day, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com.